Okay, good.
Oh,
hello everybody. Welcome
back.
back. Probably the end part, probably.
I was bragging to Mark that I'm going to be very droll today.
So
Timing
just
is
your
everything
normal
when it
self.
comes to comedy.
Your normal self, I suppose.
Timing.
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time. What the hell?
Your picture just disappeared on my screen.
Yeah, you
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, hang on.
Can you see me?
I see. I think I knocked the thing. Hang on.
Uh-oh. Well, right now it looks as if Mark is gone, but I'm still live. So, hey, everybody. How's it going? If anybody wants to try putting a comment in, we'll see if I can see it. Although I'm not the listed host, so I don't think I'm going to be able to. There he is. He's back.
So let's try again.
Our viewing audience while you were gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark, and I'm joined, of course, as per usual on a Wednesday, by the, what should we go for?
Irrepressible.
Incredulous. Irrepressible, yeah, okay. Irrepressible Randy
like
from the literate Texan. Yes, indeed.
Hello, faithful. Hello, constant reader.
Well, we have a few comments already. Greg from Ghost Readers in the Skies here. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Greg.
Hi, Randy. Aaron's here. Evening all.
Hey, Aaron.
Joseph's also here. Hi, Randy. Mark back again. Hello.
Hey, Joseph.
Like two bad pennies, we keep turning up, right?
Turning right up, like two bad pennies.
Yeah. So apologies for the delay, everybody. I was
a bad penny.
Do we have a slight delay, or I don't know. It's weird, maybe.
Well, does it seem like we have a delay now?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But I was going to just apologize for being late because I had a sneezing fit. As Randy will attest to, I couldn't stop sneezing for about 5 minutes. So I didn't want to come on going, hello, everybody, you know. So, yeah.
He is telling the truth.
I am indeed. Happy Wednesday, Mark, Randy, and everyone. I feel like you guys are a before and after shaving today, looking sexy both ways. Well, it's very kind of you, Dallas Does Books. Very kind of you indeed, yes.
That is very kind of you. You're the first person to tell me I look sexy today.
The third person? Oh, lucky you.
First.
Oh, the first. Okay, well, that's right then. I thought getting 3 in before lunch would be pretty good, Randy.
That would be good. It's quiet here. All my roommates, a bunch of my roommates are out of, well, they're out of town. Yeah, I've got a lot of roommates, and 4 of them decided that they needed to spend the night in a hotel and get some alone time.
Oh yeah, bit of hanky panky.
Romantic rendezvous, of course.
What, Driftwood Ranch isn't romantic enough, or?
You know, I'm thinking about getting a sign to put up over the doorbell that says, "If you don't swing, don't ring, baby."
Yeah. If you don't swing, don't ring. If you don't swing, don't come in as well, I suppose.
Right. Not 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
Okay.
You don't remember that song by Tony Orlando and Dawn?
I don't think so. I'm too young, probably.
Oh, it's a great song. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Twice on the pipes. Means you don't want to play.
Sounds familiar, maybe.
Yeah, well, Tony Orlando and Dawn were pretty epic. Vintage 70s.
Hi, everyone. Always fun to listen to you two while I'm working. Well, Greg says we should try singing a duet. Oh, yeah, sorry. Hello, Farah, by the way. Sorry, apologies. Try singing a duet. Well, what should we sing? They say we're young.
Exactly what we should sing.
What?
Have you ever seen a TV show called The Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah.
Well, you remember the theme song was "Just a Good Old Boy." Never meaning no harm, but it was a duet. No, it wasn't a duet. It was not a duet. It was just Waylon Jennings singing, but the stars were just like you and me. We're like the Bo and Luke Duke of literature.
Right. We need a Daisy, though.
And an Uncle Jesse.
And an Uncle Jesse, yeah, that would do too. Yeah, oh dear. Summer's here. Hi guys, making pear sauce for the first time with pears from a tree. Nice.
Ooh, yum.
Sounds
Daddy
delicious.
kept pear trees and loved them.
Randy, enjoyed your question session the other day. Is your guitar nearby to see this bad boy?
You know what? It's not nearby. It's not nearby.
Twice on the pipe. Here's hoping for they smell delicious. And Greg says, I'll be Uncle Jesse.
There you go. That works.
There you go. Indeed. So who's going to be Daisy Duke? Elvis? Going to be Daisy Duke? Going to put on some jorts? Oh, dear, dear. Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. That goes back a ways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we loved it as kids in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I'm from a small town in Northeast Texas, which explains why I have no accent.
Of course. Indeed. Yeah. What state was Dukes of Hazzard? Was it Texas or?
It wasn't Texas. I'm not sure. It would have had to have been one of the Confederate states.
Yeah.
I would guess Tennessee or Georgia.
Because the car was Robert E. Lee, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Robert E. Lee, and it had a Confederate flag painted on it. I don't think they would. I'm not sure if a rebooted version of the Dukes of Hazzard would fly now. Even the Dixie Chicks no longer call themselves the Dixie Chicks. They're just the Chicks now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose the car wouldn't fly, especially with the flag on the bonnet like that and stuff. So.
Exactly, yeah. I have a friend who was a drummer for the Dixie Chicks back when they were still the Dixie Chicks and back before they had their first hit single. And he quit the band to join another band right before their first big hit.
Ooh, bad luck.
And he stuck with them. You know, he'd be very wealthy today.
Yeah. I used to quite like them, actually. They had a couple I quite enjoyed. There's
a subgenre of country western music that's all about a woman killing a man who's done her wrong somehow, and the Dixie Chicks seem to kind of fall into that category for me, and I don't like it much because I've had too many girlfriends I've been afraid might kill me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they tend to become obsessed.
Well, of course, the worst thing would be not to kill you, but to do a Lorena Bobbitt, right?
Oh, don't even get me started. Lorena Bobbitt. That's it. And who's that guy's name? John Wayne Bobbitt?
Yeah, John Wayne Bobbitt. That's right.
John Wayne Bobbitt. I bet John Wayne is turning in his grave that was the guy who was named after him.
Yeah, him and John Wayne Gacy as well, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Still, at least John Wayne wasn't actually his real name, I suppose. So
right.
That's something.
The Duke.
Helen says, "Do you remember our version of Dukes of Hazzard, The Professionals? A loose connection, but very fun." I remember it roughly, or vaguely, but I don't remember it being a kind of British version of the Dukes of Hazzard. I thought they were some kind of security service or something, weren't they? But I don't know, maybe. You guys have a favorite book that has a movie? I read The Hunt for Red October and am now reading The Godfather. Read a good article about how The Godfather is a good Greek tragedy for Michael. Huh.
Michael Corleone.
Michael Corleone, yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Favorite book that's a movie? I mean, there must be some, of course. Well, I guess Treasure Island, I suppose. I adore Treasure Island. It's also a great movie. I think the old 1950-51 Disney version. So, yeah, maybe that. Don't think it's very Greek tragedy, though. But, no. Yeah, the car horn playing Dixie. That's right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, and they didn't open the doors. They climbed in through the windows.
That's right. They did. I used to have the Matchbox car.
I don't think I could pull that off, climbing through the window like that.
No, sliding across the bonnet as well. Sounds like you have a type, Randy.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
Yeah. So we weren't here last week. We both had other issues to attend to. Has anything been going on in the last week since we were last here? Apart from your 2,000 subscribers Q&A?
I've been doing some reading, but not much. For some reason, I guess I'm actually in a reading slump. It's odd, but I am in the middle of 3 books right now. Yeah, I know we said we weren't going to talk about what we were reading because we haven't done much reading, but I've done enough reading that I can claim to have read 20 or 30 pages of 3 different books.
Well, adds up.
Yeah, I'm reading The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. Just for grins, which I've read before, and it's terrific. Have you ever read Jim Thompson?
I've got a couple in the Penguin Crime and Espionage, but I don't think so.
He's a remarkable writer and definitely ahead of his time. I believe Killer Inside Me was one of his first successes and was published in 1952.
Okay, so a few years
ago. One of the interesting things, I was just on 2 books. I had The Killer Inside Me on one hand, and then I'm reading for Rocket Summer, Galactic Patrol by E. Doc Smith. So it's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. The main character in The Killer Inside Me, of course, is a killer, and in a dusty town in West Texas. But of course, on the other hand, in Galactic Patrol, the main character is a hero. Square jawed, honest, loyal, true, kind of a Boy Scout in space, but he becomes one of the lensmen. So yeah, I've got a murderous villain in a small, dusty town in Texas on one hand, and then I'm out in the cosmos with the Galactic Patrol in the other book that I'm reading. And I just started reading yesterday for Garbogust, which is an event that everyone seems to participate in, but I'm
reading me.
The Eiger Sanction by Trevanian. And I'm loving it so far.
Is it garbage?
I think it's, who knows? I mean, the definition to me has never been really clear. It's definitely, I would say it's a men's adventure novel, an airport paperback novel, that kind of thing.
It kind of fits into that whole 70s disaster /
exactly
stuff. So maybe it wasn't when it was published, or not meant to be when it was published, whereas now we might see it a bit like that. So yeah.
The guy who wrote it is really interesting. He wrote under multiple pen names. And for this particular series of books, he wrote under a one-word name, Trevanian. Yeah. Like Madonna or Prince, he just had a one-word name. And he was but I guess in his real life, the writing that he was proud of, he was a film scholar and had written a book called The Language of Film that he published under his own name. But he had written several works of fiction, but all of his works of fiction were written under pen names, depending on what genre they were in.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Eiger Sanction so far is dynamite. It's great. It's about an assassin who's also an accomplished mountain climber and teaches art appreciation classes.
Okay.
And most of the reason for him being an assassin is to earn enough money to keep his art collection thriving. And of course, his art collection is, of course, all pieces that he's bought on the black market with his ill-gotten gains as an assassin. So in the Eiger Sanction, of course, he's got to kill somebody, but he's got to kill somebody that he's on a mountain climbing trip with.
All right. So the sanction part is like a sanctioned hit. Is that what it means?
Well, okay. So I just finished reading that part. They have different words for a hit based on what kind of hit it is. And a sanction is specifically a counter assassination. The bad guys have assassinated one of our agents, so we're gonna assassinate one of their agents as a payback. That's a sanction in the context of the world in this novel, anyway.
Right. Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Greg says book movie. So Lonesome Dove, Train Spotting, and World According to Garp, I guess, his favorite books that are also movies. Dallas does books. Says Randy has a huge TBR this month, I think.
I thought I was going to say I had 41 books, but I had 21 books on my TBR. And I'm beginning to think I may not achieve it because I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to have to read a book a day to finish reading them all. And some of these books aren't short.
No. I was thinking, I was having a shower earlier, and I like to kind of think about what I'm doing, and I was in there and I was thinking I might try that shorty September for once. I know it's a big challenge, 30 books in 30 days. Or is it 31 days in September? I never remember.
30 days, half September.
Yeah, there you go. April. Yeah. So I mean, it's one book a day for 30 days, and I was thinking, could I do it? And then I thought, well, maybe I can. As long as I got the right ones, and I have a few. I mean, I think the parameters. I might be wrong, but I think the parameters are under 200 pages.
I haven't read the parameters, but with a little bit of planning, I think not only can you do it, you can probably do it fairly easily. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells is certainly a short book.
Well, I mean, if you think something like, and I really got into them, and I think I've got easily more left to read than there are days in September. The Maigret novels, for example, they're all under 200 pages or thereabouts. So there's those. There's a few other crime and mystery ones that I've got, of course, under 200 pages. So I was thinking, it might be possible. I don't know. I'm quite tempted to give it a go. So,
are you working in September?
Yes, I am, which is a challenge.
Makes it a little harder.
Yes, but I suppose I do have, I have the odd free period here, free period there. Some days I will finish at midday as opposed to the afternoon. There's probably enough. I mean, to read 100 pages, to read 200 pages would take you what? 4 hours?
Somewhere between 2 and 4, depending on how difficult the writing is.
So I could probably, well, that's it. If I keep it simple with terms of like, Maigret detective stories and that kind of stuff, probably is. It's very possible.
The Stranger by Albert Camus is not very long,
short. Mm-hmm.
But it's not what I would consider a fast read either.
No.
The Uncommon Reader by Alan Bennett, though, is short and goes by like a breeze, and it's a terrific book. I've read it twice already. And
maybe plays count as well, so you could certainly read plays in one day. I would say,
there you go.
Count, but you could easily.
Even Shakespeare plays.
Yeah, exactly. So it's possible. Yeah, there was something else. I have a few of these books. They're called the 101 Classics. And they are novellas of 101 pages from Alma Classics. So there's some, Henri de Balzac. There's, all Edgar Allan Poe, whatever. There's some, and I've got a couple of those, so I can pull those out and read them. So
that's fun.
I need to plan it. I think that's what I do. If I'm going to seriously do it, I just have to sit down and literally decide what books I'm going to read, what day, plan it all out, and then see if it's feasible.
Right. You don't have time to be making decisions or thinking about things. You only have time to pick up the next book in the stack and read it.
Exactly. I think there are prompts and stuff. I don't know if I will do that, but I might just do it kind of my own version of literally try and do 30 books in 30 days. So
September is also not just shorty September, but it's also Shape-Timber, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm going to think about it, but we do have a few comments. Let's get to them, unless they're all just people saying hello to Gareth, who says hello to us. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Gareth.
Helen says Shutter Island, book and film. Book is better, of course. Greg says Q&A with Randy, followed by Q&A with Gareth. What a week. And Dallas says, any recent DNFs? I read Da Vinci, and I'm reading Benjamin Franklin by Walter Isaacson. Oh, that's hard going. But I tried Steve Jobs and had to simply stop because he's such a D-bag. Such a D-bag.
Oh, who's the D-bag?
Steve Jobs, I guess.
Steve Jobs, interesting.
I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, probably Steve Jobs, not Walter Isaacson.
Or Benjamin Franklin. Maybe.
Yeah. I had a high school teacher who said that Benjamin Franklin was the real father of our country. He got around.
Yeah, okay. Michelle's here. Hello from Braintree, Massachusetts.
Hi, Michelle.
MA is Massachusetts. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Helen, surely September is fab. I just read short books. I can't achieve the 30 and 30 with my life. Yeah, I want to try though. Hi, Michelle. I'm a fellow Northeasterner too in NY. I've been doing
That's
shortly
for
September.
New York, Mark.
Yeah, I kind of got that. Sometimes it's weird though. Sometimes they don't fit. Like, is it Missouri is like MO?
Right. Isn't that odd?
I mean, maybe because they call it Missouri.
Missouri. I always call it Missouri.
I've been doing shortly September all summer, not reading one a day, but the shorter books seem to keep my attention better lately. Yeah. Someone says you guys are fast readers. Yeah, says the woman who read 20 books in 1 month. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even manage 3 in July, I think, to actually finish.
I read 4. You know what's funny is people say that I'm a fast reader, but I'm really not. I'm really average to slightly below average. I just read a lot. I like sitting around with a book in my hand. When I was younger, though, I was a legitimately fast reader. Eyesight and concentration issues have come up since then.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of I thought I would actually make good use of the summer and read a lot because, I didn't have work. But, television is an evil thing. Streaming is an evil thing because I got pulled into, bloody reality TV here, 90s TV shows there. My current binge is this BBC program called Spooks, which is like 11 series about MI5. Yeah, it's good fun. But,
okay.
Yeah, it's not racist.
Spooks has a variety of meanings depending on the context in which it's used.
Yes, in England it means spies. It doesn't have any racial connotations or anything. So
yeah, it has racial connotations and supernatural connotations here in the United States.
Yeah. But it's all about MI5, and it's quite good. Except it's quite funny that I don't know whether it's a BBC thing, but they tend to cull like the main stars after 2 or 3 seasons. Just wipe them all out, and then gradually bring in a new lot. And I'm wondering if these lot are going to be wiped out as well. So. But it's interesting to see quite a few well-known people in it at the time, because back to, I think, 2000, 2001. But the crazy thing is just how the world has not changed in those 20 years. The security threats, the problems they're facing, rising in immigration, people getting upset about it, ultra-Zionist Israeli groups wanting to create a greater Israel. There was something else today that was also prescient about the world today. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's depressing, frankly.
It is depressing. And, here's a question for you, Mark. I'm just going to explain my reaction to the upheaval in the world these days. Is I have intentionally reduced the amount of news that I consume and tried to replace that time by reading, classics like The Count of Monte Cristo or The Three Musketeers or whatever, because I've got a limited time left on this planet. We all do, of course, but having cancer, I do more than some others maybe. And I don't want to spend that time worrying about what Donald Trump's going to do next. I'd much rather spend my time figuring out how I'm going to escape from prison with the guy in the Count of Monte Cristo,
It's funny you say that because there's a new series or series coming out on the Count of Monte Cristo, and I was reading the review in the Guardian, British newspaper, about it, and she started off by saying, basically it's rubbish. It's as ludicrous. It's as ludicrous as the book, and I was incensed because I love the book. I almost wrote into her and said, "What? You don't know anything."
It is ludicrous, but
the thing is, I looked her up, and she had like a first class honors English degree from Oxford University, so I didn't think I could just send her, a rude letter about it, So
if she has an English degree from Oxford University, she's done a lot of reading.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Helen says, I've always preferred short books to long books. Gareth's doing shortly September 2. Can't wait. Lou's here. Hey y'all. Farah, I usually love long books, especially part of ongoing series, but it's so satisfying to be able to read a shorter book in less time. There are some very short Steinbecks. That's true.
There are some very, very good short Steinbecks too. Of Mice and Men is wonderful. Travels with Charlie is wonderful too, and it's not very long.
And great. And the Russian Journal is pretty short too.
Also, there's Cannery Row and its sequels, Sweet Thursday or Sweet Tuesday.
Yeah,
Sweet Thursday, I think is the name of it. Those are reasonably length. You know, not everything you wrote was East of Eden or Grapes of Wrath.
No.
He also did his version of the King Arthur and his Noble Acts of the Knights.
Yeah, I have that here.
Have you read it?
I have, yeah. Yeah,
it's marvelous, isn't it? It's too bad it was unfinished.
Yeah. So, but you know, you could almost go on forever with something like that, really.
You really could.
There's so many legends. You can add your own and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Jenny, damn, I'm late. Sorry, quickly playing catch up on 2 times speed again. Yeah, well, you were absent on the Thursday live. I was on last Thursday. I was on Gareth and Dave's show. Is This Thing On for the first time, which was great fun, but it was tough going because we started at midnight my time and finished at 3 o'clock in the morning my time. So it was.
You guys have more stamina than I do. I can't even sit at a desk for 3 hours. There's no way.
Well, I did have a little nap beforehand, and I was probably, you know, the copious amounts of tea helped. But, you know, all of us being men of a certain age, though, we were kind of, you know, all needed the toilet probably 2 hours before the live actually ended and just kind of, you know, stuck it out. Very short September.
That would be a great name for a BookTube show, Men of a Certain Age.
Yeah. Yes. You could certainly have some chats there, eh? Hi, Randy, Mr. Outlaw, fellow Ray Wiley Hubbard fan.
Hey. Snake Farm.
Not 200 pages, but I'm shocked the upcoming Pynchon novel is only in the low 300s. Shocking, says Kevin. My wife loved Spooks. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. But I tell you, Gareth, seriously, it's scary how accurate it is today, like with what's going on today. Yeah, because you were saying, Randy, about not watching a lot of news to try and, you know, maybe avoid these things. Unfortunately, I listen to the radio every single morning. It's my it's a call-in, you know, talk show radio. And it starts off with kind of a funny hour, gets more serious, and then the last one's pretty serious. But I don't know, I kind of enjoy listening to it, even though the news is bad. But the presenter's kind of good fun, and he sometimes has a few good games. Where are we? Michelle, can I join you and Randy in the Ray Wiley Hubbard fan club? Oh, there we go.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. I guess I look like some Port Aransas dope dealer.
DDB, I've reduced news but increased opinion. I started subscribing to The Atlantic and The New Yorker, and I prefer perceiving. Oh, that's hard to say together. I prefer perceiving the world through articulated opinion than blanket news. Michelle, we are hosting your Dems here in Massachusetts today. Yes, Randy, the news is depressing. Farah says, I feel the same about the news, and goes on to say, and speaking of reality TV, I started UK 90 Day Fiancé because of you mentioning it the other day. It is addictive. I don't know why Americans always say addicting. I've noticed this in my correspondence with various Americans since I've been on BookTube. I would be inclined to say it's so addictive, but it's.
I wouldn't say addictive.
Oh well, you know, Texas and England have a long tradition, so you know. The Moon is Down is a short Steinbeck and a favorite. DDB. Oh, I subscribe to Steve Donahue's blog, of course. The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah.
Steve Donahue, who is that?
Dallas Does Books.
I've heard that name before, Steve Donahue.
Oh, Steve Donahue.
Sure, I know who that is.
I think he was a 1960s Irish folk singer.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, not sure. But you know, you say his name 3 times, he's going to appear.
I had a sort of girlfriend at a bar that I used to hang out back when I was still drinking, and she had a boyfriend. And she invited her boyfriend to join us down at the bar, which made, you know, things kind of uncomfortable. But he liked Irish folk music.
Yeah.
And I like giving guys a hard time, especially if I'm seeing their girlfriend on the side. So I started trying to give him examples of Irish folk music. And I was like, oh, yeah, I love Bob Dylan. That's not Irish folk music. I said, so you're talking more like Arlo Guthrie then, right? He had no idea I was trolling him.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Mike in Durban, South Africa. This makes us very international, eh? Our shows are long. Yeah, we loved having you there. I enjoyed being there, actually, Gareth. Really enjoyed it. Farah says, hi, Mike. Dallas does books. That's a good point, Mark. I do think there's a weird thing about everyone having an addiction. If I really like a cookie, I'm addicted, and it's addictive instead of just I like this cookie. Yeah, I suppose there's that as well. Yeah, or things just like crack. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, no, I just meant the word specifically. I've heard a few people say addicting, and it's just not something I would necessarily use. Libra Paradiso, Garth Ennis has a new comic, War, about New Yorkers experiencing nuclear war. It reminds me of the film Threads. Best nuclear war film I've ever seen. It is horrifying. It may be on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know if I've got
you like Garth Ennis, Mark?
I don't know him. So
tragedy. Comic book writer. And I'm not even sure how I would describe how he got his start, but you've probably seen a TV show called The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
That was a creation of Garth Ennis. And then also there was a TV series called Preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also a Garth Ennis creation. But yeah, he's a terrific writer. If you like a certain type of dark, violent entertainment, he's a terrific writer.
I don't know. I don't know if I do. I mean,
he's not going to write anything like River Runs Through It or anything like that.
Right, okay. I guess I would have said addictive either way. And we have Dr. B is in the house with
Hey, Dr. B.
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you
again.
Good to be seen, indeed.
It's always better to be seen than to be viewed.
I suppose, yeah. Unless you're on YouTube.
Right.
You probably want to be viewed.
Good point. Context changes everything, doesn't it?
So how is your channel going, Randy? Because, you posted a few videos. You posted your big Q&A. Did it have any impact on channel growth?
No. I hit 2,000 subscribers not too long ago. I published the Q&A this week. I started keeping a log of how many subscribers I have from day to day, and it goes up by 1 or 2 viewers and down by 1 or 2 viewers. It seems to be holding steady at about 2030, 2033. But I haven't been keeping the log very long, so I'm optimistic that as things continue, it'll grow. I'm planning to launch my Patreon very, very soon. And, it's interesting that I've been really sick for the last 2 or 3 years. So I've done a couple of GoFundMes, and the people at BookTube have been so generous. And as I'm sure you know from other people who have done GoFundMes. Mm-hmm. And I thought rather than do a GoFundMe, I should do a Patreon, because then I'm providing value instead of just asking for help. And people can still help me, but they get something in return for it, because I'm going to have all kinds of cool goodies on my Patreon, including bookmarks with my picture on them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would charge $25 a month for a Patreon with Randy Ray bookmarks by itself. If that were the only perk, I would pay $25 a month for that.
$25 a month, eh?
Once I launch the Patreon, that'll be a really good question to ask, is how's your channel going? How is your channel going, Mark?
How's my channel going?
Yeah. You've been doing a lot of live streams lately. How's that affecting your subscriber numbers?
Well, it's interesting, I suppose. I mean, I did get a big boost, and I don't want people to say it's the reason I did it, but the whole Carl, Christopher Russell, Steve Donahue, everybody else. Last night. Yeah. So this whole saga, I made a response video to Carl, which did well. He caught it. Then when he left, and I felt bad because I kind of started the whole response thing, I think, for him. So I did that comeback Carl video, and actually they did give me a big boost. Altogether, I did get something like 150 new subscribers during the course of those videos. Yeah, I've been very stagnant. Although I guess because we're just in August, but when I looked at my subscribers before the turn of the month, it says up 158 or something like 153. I don't know. But now I'm just up 33.
Have you noticed that
last 28 days?
Have you noticed that Carl's become a lot more prolific in terms of publishing videos since that happened?
Well, of course, he's riding the wave.
Yes.
He's riding the wave, and I don't blame him. I mean, you have to kind of do that sometimes, really.
Yeah. I missed the whole thing. I was sick that weekend, and the cable was out, so I didn't have high-speed internet. So I missed the entire debacle.
Well, it was just a lot of fuss over nothing in the end.
It was. Yeah, it really was.
I mean, a couple of people maybe went too far. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a little bit of thick skin. And if you know, at least, I mean, I don't know much about your friend that you spoke to the other day, but I do know. Well, yeah, I wasn't going to say his name, but.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, that's not really his name. That it just rhymes with his name.
Oh, okay. What? So he's Richard Cussell, is he or something? What was I going to say? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what he said, he wrote, or whatever. You know, because he did a video, he removed it. He did an apology, he removed it. So I have no idea about that. And then, of course, I don't know him personally, so I don't know what his character's like. But the other one, the slightly older gentleman who used to be an Irish folk singer back in the 1960s.
Steve Donahue.
Yes, that's
it. Sorry, I did it again. Damn it!
But if you had actually seen the video, I mean, you know, if you know him, for you and me, it would just be water under the bridge kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, okay, but. You know, but anyway, of course, Carl came back, so that's good because I never wanted to be even like anyway kind of associated with anything that might have sent someone off BookTube.
I've always been a fan of Carl's channel. I was a fan of Christopher Russell's channel too. I'm even a fan of the Irish Folk Singers channel.
Oh, really? Well, you and
me and thousands of others readers.
Thousands of others. I was trying to make some smart-ass remark, and I couldn't do it at all. I just failed completely. Yeah. No, I mean, of course, I watch him too. I don't watch every single one of the 5 videos he puts out a day, of course. But,
right.
You know, but
you know, if you paid attention to his video exclusively every day, all his videos, watching Steve Donahue would become a part-time job.
Yeah, especially if you go back and do the back catalog. So. Yeah,
8,000 videos he's created at this point, or something.
He would probably do well if he did a Patreon and stuck all of them, all the back catalog, all of them under the paywall to be watched through Patreon or something, or through YouTube membership. You know,
right.
Because people would definitely join to look at the old stuff. I think we do have a lot of comments. I'm sorry, I'm behind again.
Oh, let's get back to the comments.
To make space for reading, I've cancelled all TV subscriptions. I get my news on trusted podcasts. Makes a big difference. Reading novels is therapeutic as the world unravels. I think that's fair.
Agreed.
Mike says Randy's Q&A was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
How did you like the beautiful blue-eyed blonde who did the voice of the audience? Wasn't she terrific?
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I have to go back and watch it, but maybe Mike can comment on it. So.
Well, I have trouble with my eyesight, so I had the 41 questions written down, but I can't read them. And so I had my beautiful blue-eyed blonde-haired friend Tiffany be the voice of the audience. And so she read all the questions to me.
Did she put on accents for each person?
No. She just did it all as her normal, charming self.
Should have got me, man. I would have done a different accent for every person.
That would have been interesting. Maybe next time I hit a milestone, if I ever hit another milestone and do another Q&A video.
3,000, I'm your guy. So, what was I going to say? Yes, Randy was excellent. Yeah. Dr. B asks, what are we currently reading? I don't know if that's necessary for us because I know you answered it earlier Randy. Maybe it's also for other people in the comments. And actually, I'm interested what others are reading. So please let us know in the comments what you are reading currently. I'm currently reading the same stuff I was currently reading last time we did a live. So please refer to the earlier video for that. So it's the Slave book and also the one about bad companies and corruption, which is actually very good. Garth Ennis got started on 2000 AD. First-rate writer. His World War II stories are excellent. He's written about Soviet female snipers and fighter pilots. Preacher, Hellblazer, Punisher. The Boys, excellent.
I loved his run on the Punisher, by the way.
So Michelle says, Randy, what about selling some teaching sessions? I don't know if she means guitar lessons or actually teaching English. So,
I have a friend who's a school teacher here in Texas, and he only teaches virtually. He only teaches from home. And I don't know how he worked out a gig like that, but I'm thinking about following up with him and trying to get in on that gig because I have the qualifications to be an English teacher. I've got the English major and the degree and the education degree, and I think there's an emergency certification process because, of course, Texas is always short of teachers. So that is an option, but also, I'd make a great individual tutor. I would not make a great guitar teacher, though. I could teach you everything I know about playing the guitar in 15 minutes. And for those of you who said that my Q&A video was great, thank you so much for the kind words. That really makes a difference to me in my life, actually, when people say nice things. I had one of my viewers call me adorable last night in a text on Voxer. Made my evening. I tap danced around the house until I went to bed.
Oh, that's nice. You're big.
Because I'm adorable.
You are adorable. That's right. There you go.
The yoga teacher I used to date also used to call me adorable. But she left me for another man.
Well, yeah, you're lucky. I don't ever remember being called adorable. I don't think.
I think you're adorable.
Well, that's very kind of you. It's jolly decent of you. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Your video from Carl's video was a positive video, done for the right reason, so don't feel embarrassed about that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gareth. It was all over nothing. Carl came back. It would be different, of course, if he had stayed away. That's true. Farah says Tiffany did a great job. Lou says your friend did a great job, Randy. Mike says she was great. Gareth concurs. She did a great job of giving you questions. Michelle says, Mark, I renew my original request for you to do a reading of Wind in the Willows with different voices for each character, please.
Ooh, well, I would watch that.
Well, I'd give it a go, but of course, Toad would probably end up having to be some kind of June on the Range voice for some reason. I don't know why. I just feel it in my bones. But maybe I could give it a go. It's probably a bit long for me to maybe sustain it, but I could at least start on it. Dr. B is currently reading My Dear Illusion. Sorry, by Sarah Reedy. Michelle, that's a great idea. Jenny, you should get Tiffany to ask the tag questions too. She was great at being your
great idea. That is a great idea. Thank you. I'll talk to her about that.
Mike's frantically reading lots of trash to try and complete the Garb August bingo card. The August book for Reed Christie is one. Sorry, hang on. The August book for Reed Christie is one. Reed Christie, Agatha Christie, of course. For Reed Christie is 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. So I'm rereading that, thinking about diving into the Three Musketeers. Michelle, so many kids need extra help with English and Kit, and doing this online virtually also adults. Dr. B says, you are adorable, Randy. Huh.
Thank you. Huh. That's so kind.
Yeah, that's really nice of you, Dr. B. Yeah. Nothing wrong with liking compliments, Randy. Indio, for Jill's here. I totally forgot this was happening today. I've been slumpy with my reading lately. Only got 3 books last month. Hopefully, when work gets back to normal, I'll be in the mood to read again. Everybody on this call is adorable. You are also adorable, Mark. Well, thank you very much, Dr. B. Thank you. Be watching Murderbot and K-pop Demon Hunters on repeat. Yes, please, for Mark's Wind in the Willows. Yeah. Ratty the Cockney Geezer. Yes, Mark. Wind in the Willows. Hamsters here in the last couple of chapters of Careless People, story of where I used to work by Sarah Wynne Williams. Cannot put it down except to watch Mark and Randy, of course. Well, that's jolly kind of you. We're almost
very good use of your time and energy.
We're almost caught up. I'm reading September 11 related fiction and non-fiction stories. Don DeLillo, Martin Amis, and Der Spiegel's reconstruction of the events leading to the attacks. Now, Farah, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember this from one of your videos. You read a book on September 11th, didn't you? I can't remember what it was. I also meant to read it. I'm reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, non-fiction about wildlife focused on the summer, and listening to The Four Winds by Kirsten Hannah. All are great. Yeah, cool. I was thinking it sounds funny that you could say, I'm reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, which is a non-fiction about wildlife focused on summer. No, but of course I know it's a separate book. Mark was adorable, and then he shaved. Thank you very much. Guess I'm out of the beardy club for now. Currently reading Hang the Moon by Jeanette Walls, set in the 1920s, about a small town being run by a powerful family, and a drama happens as the family dynamics change. Polling audience, I for Mark's Wind in the Willows, please. Okay, well, yeah, maybe I could give it a go. And also for the viewers poll, beard or no beard? That is the question. Because a lot of people tell me I look better with it, but my mum hates it. So, and look, you summoned up. You summoned him up. I've read 11 books in just the last 2 hours. So.
Oh my goodness! Hi, Steve. Oh, yeah. You know what? Since we have an audience here, why don't I invite them to answer a question for me? What kind of perks would you like to see from my Patreon when it launches? What would be an added value for you as the viewer? Answer in the comments if you feel like it.
Consumer research. Good point. Yeah. So Randy wants to launch his Patreon soon. What kind of things would you like to see there? And it seems that they want to see Randy no beard on your Patreon.
Really? I've got a baby face. When I shave my beard off, I look like a 12-year-old.
No, I think that's for me. Sorry, but I thought it would be funny.
I also have a weak chin. Oh, you're right. That probably is for you.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny.
You said that my beard was a national monument.
Where are we? Yes, The Only Plane in the Sky. That was it. I really want to read that. Yeah, it was amazing. An oral history of 9/11. It was a masterpiece as audio. So Michelle says no beard. Farah says beard. Steve vote for no beard and a paper sack over your head. Charming. Thank you very much.
The unknown booktuber.
So we've got 3 no beards and 1 beard at the moment. So there we have it. The Only Plane in the Sky, did not know it. How very Sheila Buff, Steve. Yeah. So it's good. I mean, what kind of things were you thinking of putting on your Patreon then to get people some ideas of the kind of stuff people do put on there?
Well, so I'll tell you, I have put some thought into this. Okay. One of the things that I like about Criminali's Patreon is that you get daily updates on what he's been reading every day. And you also get a sneak preview of what he's planning to read in the upcoming week. And those aren't available to the public for free. I thought that was a cool added value. I really do have bookmarks. The picture on the bookmarks is of me, but it is not a photograph of me. It's a cartoon rendition of me. But I'm very pleased with those. I'm sorry?
Are they autographed?
No, I don't have time to autograph anything. I can autograph them if people would like.
I have something you could do, Randy, which would be quite cool. My suggestion, seeing as you're musical, I think because obviously if you get 10,000 Patreons, you can ignore it. But in the beginning, you could probably do a Randy Ray sends you a personal birthday message on your birthday, singing his guitar.
That's a great idea.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to use that.
Go for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the other ideas that I had, and I don't know how well this will work. I have a book club, the Lone Star Book Club, and it's free to the public. It's terrific. We have wonderful selection of books to read, wonderful participants. But I don't think it would be a bad idea to have a book club that's exclusive to my Patreon members.
No.
And I already have a name for it.
Uh-huh.
Of course, the Lone Star Book Club refers back to Texas.
Yeah.
But I thought the paid Patreon-only book club could be called the Star Chamber.
The Star Chamber. Okay. Nice.
So that was an idea that I had too. Of course, getting some time with me exclusively on a Zoom call or a Skype call. I always think that's a nice perk from somebody's Patreon.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing my Patreon live on Saturday, and instead of doing it as just one-on-one, but I haven't got that many that traditionally join. I think the most I've had is 5 or 6. So I think doing it as a group is also quite nice, because most of my patrons are commenters, not content creators, so they don't actually have the channels. And the nice thing is they get to actually meet and interact as well. So there's that core group, as I say, are generally the ones who do come on for the call. They kind of all know each other now, which is nice because we can all chat about stuff, and that's kind of fun, I have to say.
On the public-facing side of things, you have a similar number of subscribers to me. Am I mistaken about that? I've got 2,032 subscribers right now. Your number's similar to that, isn't it?
Yeah, 2,400 something.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you're significantly ahead of me, but
not significantly. I wouldn't say. It could change. It could change like that. It could change with your next video.
I'll have to make a good video.
Yeah.
Next. That's my next BookTube goal, is to make a good video.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will storm off YouTube, and then you can make a video saying "Come back, Mark," and then you'll get a few hundred subscribers, maybe.
You know what?
Only kidding.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
Yeah.
It's not above me to fake something like that if I think it'll help me achieve my goals.
Yeah, it could be. We could manufacture a rivalry or something between us. That could be good.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, probably we should actually just tell all the 28 people who are in the chat.
Well, it's just like a comic book character, a superhero and the supervillain used to be best friends, but then they had a falling out, and now they're arch rivals.
Yeah,
that's a storyline we could put together.
Yeah, here we go. The great split between Graceland and Driftwood Ranch.
Which one of us would be Lex Luthor, and which one of us would be Superman? That's the question.
I don't know.
One of the things that I loved about the old version of Superman, pre-1986, was Lex Luthor's origin of how he became Superman's arch nemesis. Because they were friends as boys. There was Superboy and Lex Luthor. But I guess Lex Luthor was doing some type of experiment. Superboy had to come in and rescue him from an explosion or something that was caused by Lex Luthor. But he accidentally, with his super breath, blew chemicals onto Lex Luthor's head, so he went bald. He lost all his hair, and he hated Superman ever since.
See, I like the way they did it in Smallville, actually.
Yeah.
The fact the meteor explosion. Yeah. But I like
the idea that Lex Luthor hates Superman because he made him bald. Yeah. That's Silver Age. That's Silver Age gold right there.
You've given me the idea that when you said super breath, I'm now thinking not just super breath, but repulsive, smelly breath that causes these things. I don't know. Yeah.
That's great.
Imagine if there was a superhero who that was his superpower. You could just breathe on people and they would pass out.
Sounds like a character in a Garth Ennis comic book, actually. One of the characters in Preacher in the comics is Arseface.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can imagine why he has that name.
Arseface.
Arseface, yes.
Nice. Anyway, Greg, he shaved in 1986 and he didn't like it much. Mike asks, anyone else reading Go Down Moses for Faulkner in August? Me not. I'm guessing Randy not by his reaction. Steve says, I remember how strange it was walking my dogs immediately after 9/11 in the flight path of Logan Airport with complete silence in the sky. Yeah, it was.
That was really odd. I remember that too.
It was a crazy, crazy day. Jesus.
I was in the flight path of Love Field, and I walked 3 miles a morning during that period of my life, and it was really strange. It was eerily silent, and I can remember the first time I went for a walk after they opened the airways back up, and an airplane flew over my head for the first time, and I don't know how long they were grounded, a week or something like that. But I remember it being so loud and seeming so big and so close. And I know it was just a contrast with the silence that I'd heard for the several days before that when I'd gone for my walks.
Well, I remember being quite nervous because my father was flying to Bermuda that day, and he took off pretty much around the time that the first tower was hit, or maybe it was the second one. It doesn't matter. But of course, they then was saying about they were closing U.S. airspace, and the problem is Bermuda, although it's a British colony, falls under U.S. airspace, because it's so close that it falls under their influence, and so. We were worried because he had to then turn back, and then he had to spend almost the entire duration of the transatlantic flight flying around the southwest coast of England in order to land again, because they won't land, of course, with fuel, full fuel tanks, right? So, yeah, that was very nerve-wracking. And also, it was just the whole, because it happened for us around 2:00, I think, in the afternoon. And it was just so bizarre, because we were just doing our normal routine of what we'd watch the news, we'd watch one of these Australian TV soaps. And I remember going in to my grandmother and asking her if she wanted a cup of tea. And she was sitting there kind of watching something, and I could hear what it was. And I said, "What's that?" She said, "I don't know, but it looks like they've gone all out with Diagnosis Murder today." Because she was pretty elderly, and she'd probably just looked up from something. And she didn't realize she was actually watching the news at first, because always came, that Dick Van Dyke show. So terrible. But it was just such a weird day.
Well, I was at work. It was morning here, and in my office building, we had a delicatessen, which is true of a lot of office buildings in Dallas at the time, and we would buy our breakfast there. And I went down there to get my breakfast, and I noticed a small crowd of people around a small television set. And one of the planes had just hit. The first plane had hit. The second plane still hadn't hit yet. And the second plane hit while I was asking them what's going on. And we didn't get much work done that day, needless to say.
Dallas Does Books wants to point out today is also the anniversary of Hiroshima. Yes, it is, actually. I was on the radio this morning talking about it. So, because I often message into the radio station and then sometimes call in or whatever. And they were talking about all these people were saying how nuclear weapons have saved lives, right? And then it got me thinking, and I'm just, anyone who knows me knows that I'm not necessarily like the most politically correct person. But it did get me thinking that, I guess they saved a few lives, but primarily only white lives when you think about it. Because during the Cold War, there were so many proxy wars that a lot of Africans died. A lot of people in other wars elsewhere around the world where the CIA backed one regime and, the Russians backed another. But, white people from North America or from Europe, they weren't involved necessarily in these wars on massive scale. So maybe nuclear weapons were racist. I don't know. What do you think, Steve? So, yeah, it is the anniversary of Hiroshima, but it's a tough one. I don't really know whether there was much of a choice in there's an ethical and moral choice in bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But I think if you're a Democratic president of the United States, there's only one right political choice. I mean, you can't look at your electorate if the war goes on and hundreds of thousands of young men are killed in the invasion of Japan. It's a tough one. As for the beard versus no beard debate, I say whatever you're most comfortable with. Well, then definitely a beard, probably. Currently reading a New Yorker article published the same month of the bombing by John Hershey about 6 Hiroshima survivors. Yeah, I didn't know until today there were 130 survivors apparently of both bombs. I knew this one guy I'd read about years ago called Tsutsumu Yamaguchi, who survived both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, I think he was in Hiroshima for a business trip and the bomb dropped and he was just released to go home and he got back to Nagasaki when they dropped the second bomb. And he survived both of them, but still, I mean, that's crazy. Crazy stuff. Rather than read Faulkner in August, I thought I'd repeatedly strike my head against a brick wall. Diane's here, dropping by to say, hey, y'all. Hello.
Hey.
Indie author Jill, I posted my video on August 1st announcing the 100 self-published indie published books. And between YouTube and Threads, I have almost 300 titles in my randomizer. Wow. Michelle speaking to Mike, also Thomas Mann's Magic Mountain, Winter of Discontent for other groups and various readings peripheral to those personal. Okay. We could all do a response video and stir up the pot. Yeah, that's true. You could always do a collab with other booktubers and then boost your sub count. You learn about other audiences and vice versa. Well, yes, I think that's a good point, Dr. B, but the problem is you'd have to find some people who are different, don't you think so, Randy?
Yes.
Because if you and I collab, I think we probably don't even increase our rates.
We have a lot of overlap in our audience already.
And even with people in our so-called community, like if you and I go on Steve's show, you know, if we did a live with Steve on his channel, I don't think it would make much of a difference now either, because we've been so established and so, you know, mentioned on his channel that people who would have subscribed would have already subscribed already. So I don't.
Yeah, I would agree with that, except Steve doesn't talk about me nearly enough on his channel.
Well, yeah, he's never had me.
He's talking about me a lot more.
I've had him loads of times on here, and he's never once had me or invited me to be on his channel. It's very rude. I'm sure he's not still watching, but you know. I guess I'm too old. That's the problem. I'm too old, and I'm not adorable enough to be on Steve's channel. So that's why I need the paper.
I can relate.
Where are we? LOL. Oh no, arch rivals. Bookstalgic. Yes. Then our small channels can also get views. That's right. You could fudge some results, Jill, to get what you want. I'm going to film the randomizer picking it. I like to be as transparent as possible. There are some that I'm really hoping to get to. Michelle says September 11th, I was living directly across from Building 1 at Fort Ben Harrison, is it? FT Ben Harrison in Indianapolis, maybe? Second largest military building, US to Pentagon housing, all mill pay systems and a huge amount of infrastructure, IT infrastructure. Part 1. I heard from a reliable source that Mark and Randy Ray are rivals now. Apparently someone has super breath. That's right, but who is it? Maybe that's why I lost the beard. I just went, my beard fell out. It's Mark. He has the super breath. I'm telling you, it smells like roses, Jill. Roses. I'm offended by Steve's anti-Faulkner diss, so I'm leaving BookTube forever. No, there you go. Mike, come back.
No, get your ass out of here. Get on your bicycle.
Yes, collab with different creators. Yeah, we'd have to go hunting for them though. So I don't know. You've got your channel, have you, Dr. B? Yeah. Michelle, part 2. When I bought the house, I was forced by Secretary of Interior regulations to also buy insurance against airplane and bomb damage. Nice. If atom bombs had never been invented, the US and USA, absolutely they would have done. You know, they save lives until they don't. But white lives initially. I've never read a Faulkner, but the last time I didn't trust Steve, I read and hated The Road. I've learnt my lesson. I created the spreadsheet with hopes of building up BookTube community and finding other friends to connect with. Well, you know, this is always open invitation. If anyone has a channel, and even if you don't, if you ever want to come on with us. I'm sure Randy and I can be very welcoming and have you on as well. I've finally driven riffraffs reading Renaissance off BookTube, and it's only Wednesday. And next up, will Randy and Steve consider doing a fireman style calendar? Okay.
The men of BookTube.
Why? I don't know why it's only Randy and Steve. Aren't I allowed to bare my body for charity? Dear, oh dear. Gosh, that's a lot of comments, Randy.
Well, let's run through the comments.
No.
The audience matters.
We've caught up, is what I'm saying. There were quite a lot.
We've caught up.
My jaw hurts from reading them all out, you know. So.
Oh well, this is not going to be a 2-hour live stream for me. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. So
yeah, I was thinking we'll probably wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I like to always leave them wanting more.
Leave them wanting more because we'll be back next week, of course. So
if there are no comments up, I want to show off something here. A friend of mine brought me a gift, and it's called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, but it's a beautiful edition.
Wow. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah. Very thick book, too.
Uh-huh.
And it's got there's a bookmark in it. He left his bookmark in it. Lovely. It's leather. It says something on the bookmark, but I can't read it. But I love actual books on paper. And unfortunately, it's almost impossible for me to read books on paper anymore because I'm having troubles with my eyesight. So I'm doing all kinds of reading on the Kindle these days.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a huge help to read on the Kindle.
Yeah. For me, having the black background with the white letters and the larger font makes all the difference for me being able to read. So thank God for the Kindle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be forced to listen to audiobooks, which I'm not a fan of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Here's my problem with audiobooks. I mean, don't get me started about audiobooks. No, the thing about audiobooks is I've noticed over time they've become more akin to performances than just readings. You know, I want you to read me the story, but I don't need you to put on a one-man show for me. And too many of the readers on Audible seem determined that I'm going to use this voice and this accent and that voice and that accent. And before you know it, it's like you're in a bad Dungeons and Dragons game or an amateur community theater group.
I have a new idea for your Patreon.
Lay it on me.
Seeing as there's an audience appetite for it, you could do shirtless short story reads.
Ooh, kind of like the Naked News they had a few years ago.
Something like that, yeah. There you go.
You remember that?
I do.
The Naked News, yeah.
Steve says the men of BookTube, all proceeds to charity. As a teacher, Mark, would you be allowed to? I could wear a helmet, or you could put one of those sensor things across my face. Yeah. So there we go. Michelle says part 3. I served in Desert Storm. Oh wow! And had it not been for that, I would have never believed that I could really be in danger there. And even still, I was awestruck by watching the towers on television. Yeah, crazy. Gorgeous book, Randy. I want to read that, Randy.
Too.
I want to read that, Randy, but he seems to be determined not to finish the series. Someone says, I enjoy Name of the Wind. I've read The Name of the Wind and the second book in the series, Dead Man's Folly. And then Michelle says, one-man shows, no, but theater readings are really good if the group reading is good. So there we have it. So should we stop there? We pulled it up.
I think so. Always leave them wanting more.
Okay. Diane says, well, I never looked at razors like that, but it's true. So there we have it. Steve can lend me a paper bag, exactly, to protect my identity when I'm showing off.
Okay, speaking of paper bags, how many people watching this video remember the Unknown comic?
I don't.
Mark, do you remember the Unknown comic?
Nope.
There used to be a TV show in America called The Gong Show.
Right. I remember the Gong Show, but maybe just the name.
One of their recurring contestants was the Unknown Comic, and he was a stand-up comic who was really bad, cheesy, old 1950s jokes, but he wore a brown paper bag over his head, so you wouldn't know who he was. He was the Unknown Comic, and he did that shtick for years and years, even after the Gong Show ended. But I thought he was very funny.
Oh, dear. All right, so there we have it. Well, thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us and for chatting and filling the comments. And we should be back next week, shouldn't we, Randy? Hopefully,
we will be back next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
So until then, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Do take care.
Thank y'all for tuning in, folks.
Y'all come back now, you hear?